Friday, data people. So today I'm going to be going through relationships in Power BI. Actually, the difference between an active relationship and an inactive relationship. So let's get started. I'm going to just work through this within a Power BI semantic model, desktop version. I'm going to use a very simple table, so this is easy to follow. But I just have individual items here and then a create date and a close date. And we're going to create an active relationship to our close date and then an inactive relationship to our create date. And then we're going to show a measure or two different measures on the same visual so we can kind of see how that works and make sure that they're working accurately. So I'm going to just paste this actually into the PBI semantic model, make this easy for myself. Uh, just pasting that in there, and we'll call this um, items. So we're going to load that. I guess I need a very simple date table too, so we'll just do dates, 1/1/2025, and we will do something like that. Something simple. And I'm going to enter this too. I'll call it date load. So there's a lot of different ways you can set up relationships. I'm just going to go into my manage relationships area, and then I can start kind of creating the relationships between my date table and my items. Uh, so I'm going to select my date value here, and then I'm going to relate that to another table items. Now I have two different dates. I'm going to do my close for my active first. That is the active relationship. And then I am going to do this again, but I'm going to do it to the create date. And this is not an active relationship any longer. That's an inactive relationship. So that means if we're setting up a visual and we have a measure, it's always going to use this active relationship with that measure unless otherwise noted or indicated in the measure with something called use relationship. You can kind of indicate what relationship to use that. So let's set up a measure here. I'll kind of show you what this looks like without really doing too much. First, we'll just do counts, and we'll do count rows of my, I'm in the wrong table actually, but that's all right. I'll move it. I can show you how to move it too. You can see I have my measure here. I kind of want in this items table, so we'll just move uh, the measure to that other table. As the home table, put in the items table. Very easy. Um, so let's go to our visual and we'll do simple matrix here. I have my relationships set up, and then we'll look at, well, not, we'll look at the counts then over the dates. And let me get that date format a little different so it's a little bit easier to see. Oh, you know what? I did that right there. I should have done that on my date dimensions table. I'll do that. I'll drop that date back in there. So now we can see it, the counts, and we got, let's say, we'll just kind of view this to see where this is coming from. So 1, 2 has 2 counts on that. Um, and you can see on our create date, we don't have any 1, 2. So that's being really driven off of this right here, off this close date. So it's not giving me kind of an accurate picture of what the create date is though at this point in time. So that measure count is using the active relationship for my dates from my essentially my date table to my close date. I'm guessing if we go here, we can kind of see that too. We can see the active relationship right here. That is going from the close date here to the date table there. And then we can see this inactive relationship here. So then the question becomes, how do we use that inactive relationship? I want to see both complete items and created at the same time off the same kind of within the same dimensions on the table. And we use a function called use relationships then. So let me go back here and I will create a new measure then. We'll call this created items. And I'm going to say calculate. I'm actually going to use my counts for my measure. I'm going to reuse it. It's more portable that way. So if I ever change it, it kind of updates then. And then I'm going to tell it, I'm going to use relationship. So I get to tell what relationship I want to use now. So then I can say I want to do this table to my items create date table, and then I'll close that off. And let's try this out then. So we have counts, and then I have my created items here, and we can see they're different. And that's what we're expecting. We would expect that to be different, but let's make sure this is accurate though. Let's make sure that this is actually using the created date here. So let's come in here and filter this. We can see we have 3 for 1, 1, 3 for 1, 3, 3 for 1, 5, and then only 2 for 1, 7. And that is what we're seeing on this table. So to recap, again, the big thing is if you have two dates on maybe the table that you're measuring or aggregating something and you want to use both those dates, one's kind of a items created versus maybe completed items, use relationships using your active and inactive is going to be the key. So again, I'm just going to go into what that looks like on my manage relationships. You can see here that my close date is the active and then my create date is the inactive. And once I have that set up, then my measure can specifically use the use relationships to identify it or tell the measure what relationship to use. And it's using that inactive then. So again, happy Friday, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you later.